Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Through the Gears. On the road today, I'm in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. We're getting ready to go to Barber for this week's action on IndyCar for the weekend. Be sure to check all the content out there on Frontstretch Open Wheel. But we got some NASCAR betting to get into for my personal favorite, my track I grew up at, the great Texas Motor Speedway that has been coming back and has been a banger of a track recently for the Cup Series, even for the Xfinity Series with Ryan Sieg's photo finish last year as well. Looking back at Darlington, we were so close, 300ths of a second close to Ryan Preece getting the dub before getting disqualified. Some books are very sketchy on if they accept that as a win or take it away, depending on your sports book. Regardless, Austin Cindric takes the W. I know my friend Dale Tanhart, we had on the show last week. He had him in his later picks at 16-1. He was a great option there. Unfortunately, we did not capitalize on that on all of our overall bets last week. So we're looking to bounce back going into Lone Star State. So put on your cowboy hats, put your shooters up. We're going to get into it here for Texas Motor Speedway as we go through the gears. Looking at the field, the favorite for this race is Kyle Larson once again at plus 475. Now, plus 475 is pretty high for a guy that hasn't won in the next gen car. He has won the Gen 6 before in this speedway, but not in the next gen. It's because Hendrick Motorsports has been strong with their other cars. William Byron with the win in 2023 rather, and Chase Elliott who won this race last year. Now William Byron is the second favorite at plus 650, while Chase Elliott, who is the defending winner of now the Worth 400, is at 18-1. That being because Chase Elliott hasn't won since he was in those Hooters colors last season. Now he'll be sporting the 100th anniversary of Napa. That is another nice paint scheme. But can Chase Elliott do it again? I'd be a little bit confident if he shows that speed once again going into this race. Byron, on the other hand, with an average finish of 3.7 with his 2023 win, it's very tempting to put him on this list, even with plus 650 odds, with second favorite odds, and being so early in the season with how Byron typically does this time of year. Granted, I mean, Byron is coming off another top 5 at Talladega, where he leads the Cup Series in that average finish category as well. He's been headhunting for the win the last couple of weeks. I feel confident in that 24 team so far. Meanwhile, the 5, when you look at Kyle Larson's average finish, he's all the way down all time in 22nd in the next gen era for average finish, whether that be for wreck or whatnot. He has the most laps led at 195. It's just he can't close the deal on these races. He had spun out previously, I think, in 2023, battling with Bubba Wallace. And it's Kyle Larson. It's boom or bust when you bet on Kyle Larson for these races. Again, plus 475, having the Xfinity race this weekend will help him out tremendously, but I have my doubts still with throwing money on Kyle Larson outright. Byron, on the other hand, I feel like he's going to be a pretty good option, plus 650, and I can give better allocation to that bet for William Byron. I'd probably throw anywhere from 2.5. I'd go 3 units to give Byron the win. Meanwhile, Tyler Reddick at 7-1 across all books. Again, the other former winner in the next gen era that we haven't talked about much. He has decent finishes at this track with 2311 as well. He's been in contention, just hasn't got the job done for Toyota and Michael Jordan. sporting the diamond colors this weekend. Great skiing, but can I get it done on the track this weekend? With 2311, it's tough. I feel like you could get just as much value out of Bubba Wallace, who has competed for the win here more recently, in my eyes, than Tyler Reddick. Now, Bubba had it in 23. He wasn't really up there last season, if I recall correctly. But it's gonna be tough when it comes down to going into this before practice and qualifying to really know who's going to be a contender in this race. But the 2311 crew always has somebody fighting at one of these mile and a half racetracks. More likely than not, it'll be Tyler Reddick, but I would keep my eye close on Bubba Wallace going in this weekend. And then you look at the Ford camp. The leading Ford is Ryan Blaney at plus 950. The last time a Ford won at this track was all the way back in 2019 with Stuart Haas Racing and Kevin Harvick. The last time one of the active drivers in the Ford camp has won here, go back to 2014 spring when Joey Logano did this. That's over 10 years ago. None of these guys have been able to take care of business in the Ford camp at Texas Motor Speedway. I think I'm going to go with my gut here and just avoid betting a Ford this weekend just to save allocations and to look elsewhere. I think Toyotas have that speed and have what it takes to get it done as well. You look at the Joe Gibbs Racing Camp, you have Denny Hamlin plus 950, Christopher Bell plus 11 or 11 to 1 odds rather. Bubba Wallace at 20 to 1. Chase Briscoe, who has a sneakily good average finish here of 7th, has a 1 top 5 and has finished top 10 in this race 3 times. He's 22 to 1 to win the race. And you look, it feels like it's going to be Toyota versus Chevrolet in this race. Ty Gibbs at 30 to 1 finally broke through and had a decent couple of races. You look even deeper, and I'd go all the way. The farthest I'd go and look at is Carson Hocevar at 80 to 1. He has a top 10 here last season. He's riding the Dente again with the Chili's paint scheme. He's also doing double duty in the Truck Series, a place where Carson Hocevar has won here before. 80 to 1 odds for a guy that really did good here last year. It's a sister track to Atlanta. I know it's not that it's a super speedway now, but the configuration for Texas, I feel like it suits Hocevar pretty well. And even so, he's had good speed the last couple weeks. It's just a matter of, can that 77 team put a whole weekend together? I'd look for him probably for my prop bets more rather than a race win, but I'll keep my eye on in case he does. I think right now his top 10 number is great. 80 to 1 is really the first number of the true underdogs. It jumps from the duo of Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher and Josh Berry, the Fords, at plus 3,500. It goes all the way down to Hocevar at 80 to 1 with Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez finished second at Vegas. Carson Hocevar, Austin Cindric, our reigning winner from Talladega, and so on with Ryan Preece at 120 to 1. Again, you start looking at prop bets for those guys more rather than the race win, but I'd still consider Hocevar because I still feel like Hocevar has an opportunity to close one out here going forward. It's just a matter of when for Hocevar, it feels like. He's close to that win. I'd still keep an eye out for him eventually. So going into my picks for this weekend, I got William Byron at plus 650. I just like his number. Plus 650 is pretty decent for a guy that's won here before. 6.5 to 1 with 3 units on him. I like those odds for William Byron. And a guy that's been kind of hot over the last couple races was Denny Hamlin at plus 950 at 2 units. It's really a toss-up between him or his teammate Christopher Bell for me. Bell's been fast here. I feel like if Bell wins the pole, Bell hasn't won from the pole yet. So I'd probably look at Christopher Bell's pole odds rather than Denny Hamlin, just because I think that Christopher Bell could grab pole at it's probably like 6 or 7 to 1. I haven't checked the odds quite yet, but a Denny Hamlin plus 950 with 2 units is a good bet for me. And here's a guy we haven't talked about quite yet, and we'll dive into a little bit more. Ross Chastain. Ross was oh so close. Was looking like he was going to finish second before getting into it with William Byron, battling for, I believe it was second place. He was right there, close to Chase Elliott on the restart. Started alongside him, could have won the race. He's at 25-1 odds. Look, Ross Chastain has quietly been really solid at Texas Motor Speedway, and the fact he's still 25-1 despite how great he's raced here, I think this is going to be a bounce back race for Trackhouse Racing. He's won at Kansas before as well. Just look back to last season. I think getting Ross Chastain at 25-1 is a steal for the race win. He's the highest odds I can go with, and I'll put 1.5 units on him to win the race. My units are about $10. A $10 bet for Chastain winning would win $250 for you. Chase Elliott, on the other hand, he's at 18-1 odds. Why is Chase Elliott 18-1 if he's won here before? I mean, it's been a year since he's won, but we're going to the track where he won at last. Give him at 18-1 odds here, defending winner of the same race. I think it's a no-brainer to put 1.5 units on Elliott as well. We got 2 Hendrick guys. We're not going to Kyle Larson at plus 475 just because I think even then you have these guys that are just a little bit better than Kyle Larson at Texas and has won previously before. So looking into my prop bets, there's a lot of great options at the prop bet market this week, in my humble opinion. Daniel Suarez popped up first, and this is why it's not because he finished second at Las Vegas. Daniel Suarez has the 4th best active next-gen average finish, 8.3. Top 10 in 2 of the 3 of those races. He's finished top 20 every single time we've come to Texas. He's looking at a plus 220 odds to top 10. I would be willing to put 1.5 units on him to do so. You never know when it comes to Daniel Suarez if they find that speed. It's kind of, if I'm going to bet Ross Chastain to win this race, Daniel Suarez kind of falls in between. I mean, his 80-1 odds is not terrible either if he almost won at Las Vegas. Granted, a lot of strategy played into their hands there. They weren't really the fastest cars that day. But you never know when it comes down to it. I'm not willing to put the money on him to win outright, but the top 10 odd is very tempting. Carson Hocevar is my second look. He's at plus 250, and he top 10 here last season. He's raced here 2 times before, and he finished 9th here in last season's race. I like Carson Hocevar just because of what I saw from him last season and how fast he was at this particular track. And then the third I'd go with is Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon also top 10 here last year. He's on a little bit of a top 10 streak right now as well. The longest he's had since 2022. Why not add another to that list? He's 7-1 to top 10. I'd love to see if you carried your winnings from each week to see how much you've made if you bet a Austin Dillon top 10 over the last 3 weeks. But still, Austin Dillon coming into this race and having 7-1 odds via all these odds via FanDuel for the top 10. I top 10'd out on all 4 of my picks for the props. FanDuel has a couple of really good ones. I cannot pass up on. The last of those being Zane Smith. Zane Smith's top 10 is a 9-1. I really hearken to the days where he raced real well here in the Truck Series. Now that he's with Front Row Motorsports, a team he has been comfortable with, he's looked really well. He just got his first pole at Talladega, which I think he was around 30-1 to win the pole that week. He stuck around. He didn't get top 10 in the race, unfortunately, or wasn't really a contender when it came down to the end of that race. But Zane Smith has been putting in the work. He's gotten a couple top. He's gotten at least one top 10 this year already. He looked good even with Spire last season towards the end. I think Zane Smith is kind of getting into a rhythm where as long as things go well for him, he can compete. Or others go wrong, things go wrong for other people, just makes the job easier for the number 38 driver of Zane Smith. So those are my four for Texas Motor Speedway for the Cup Series, the four props, my four picks for the Cup Series race as well for winners. Now let's get into my Xfinity prediction. I'm not going to touch, must say, it's a triple header weekend. I thought about looking into trucks. Nothing really pops out. Really, the race winning market doesn't pop out too much to me unless I want to do a parlay for Larson to sweep both races, then Corey Heim to win. That's really risky if you do that. Or if you do like a top Ford or top Chevy or like a top Ford Chevy Toyota prop, that's very difficult to predict as well. It's kind of a luck base there as well. I'm going to go into the top 5 prop market for Xfinity, and a guy, because I'd take him to win, but we have a man named Kyle Larson in the field now. So instead of that, I'm going to go with Ryan Sieg top 5. He got it done in the photo finish, finishing second last season. His odds to get a top 5 via DraftKings is a plus 285. It's almost 3-1 odds, just south of 3-1 odds to get the top 5 done at a track where he was always so close to winning at last year, getting edged out by Sam Mayer. God damn it. Fuck. So close. Oh, God damn it. Look for the 39 to contend for the 3. Look for the 39 to compete for the top 5 this week at Texas Motor Speedway. That'll do it for this episode of Through the Gears. You follow me on my Twitter handle right there at Wyatt W Racing. Thank you for everyone on Spotify, Apple, YouTube now, again, for joining the podcast. Thank you for the comment from last week. Be sure to leave a comment, and I'll give you my thoughts next week and see how we do at Texas. And also give a follow and give a watch, listen to all of our other podcasts in the Frontstretch Podcast Network, including my buddy Brian Nolan for Bringing the Heat, Happy Hour with Trey Lyle, Dalton Hopkins, Michael Massey, and others and other guests for that podcast as well. Be sure to look at the Pit Straight this week as we go over what happens here at Barber as well as in South Beach at Miami. It's supposed to be a stormy one down there, so watch the weather forecast for that race. Also catch Stock Car Scoop with Caleb Barnes after the action at Texas Motor Speedway. And let's see who comes out on top here for Texas. I'm excited to get my cowboy hat on and see what happens down at the Lone Star State. Let's make some money, people.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.